Hey, so I'm thinking about the concept of my harvest day. I mean, I had a video that I had just posted called Harvest Day because I typically would save all my harvests for once a week, and then on that day, kind of harvest, start early in the morning and harvest, and then get everything washed up and packed, and then my family has veggies for the week, and then once we get into the main season, and we have too many veggies, Monday morning, because usually harvest day is on the weekend, and Monday morning I can take them down to the food pantry kind of thing. But now I've expanded my garden a bit, and I've been exploring the idea that I maybe need to harvest twice a week. So, and in fact, today I'll show you I have an asparagus harvest that I'm working on. And so I do have the asparagus harvest. And then I'm also looking out here, and my broccoli planted from last year, which is on its last legs. I got to get the broccoli tips off now. If I wait, they're just going to flower. If I wait for once a week, my once a week day, 2 days from now, some of these might in fact just flower on me. So I'm gonna go ahead and harvest these broccoli tips. And then also, when I was poking around the beds, I noticed that some of the radishes were ready to go. And again, if you wait too long on those, they just get too hot on you. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking I may go to a 2-day-a-week process for harvesting. I guess we'll see. Maybe some of the leafy green type stuff is always once a week. It takes about a week at least for those greens to grow back. Maybe I'm fooling myself on that. I think I've heard other people say it takes 2 weeks. Probably what's really happening is I'm harvesting 1 week, and then the next week, the stuff I didn't cut the prior week is now big enough I'm harvesting. And so, but like a once a week cycle seems right to me for the leafy greens. But I'll look around out here and see if that's true. Maybe I'll find that there's some leafy greens that have really gotten bigger on me and could be harvested now, or should be harvested now. I mean, we can't eat them that often, so if I start having that much of a harvest, it's time to start donating again. All right, I'll see you all later. Bye. What do you think about this asparagus? I think it's a bit too long for eating. I don't know. Maybe you can cut it into pieces and enjoy parts of it that way. I think I've had a mixed result with asparagus this year. I think my problem, this is my 4th year, so I feel like this whole bed should be just full of asparagus. This is my asparagus bed back here. That's why it would be full of asparagus. But as you can see, it just gets these kind of random shoots, and then once they take off, man, they really take off. So you have to get at them pretty quickly. But I think my problem, the reason I don't have like a full bed of these spears, is because last year I grew flowers in this bed as well. I thought I could get away with that. It's just, I've got a relatively large garden, I suppose, but I think like any gardener, it's never big enough, right? And so I've got lots of things I want to grow and lots of things I want to try, and I always run out of bed space during the main season of the garden. And so the idea of just leaving an entire bed just for the asparagus has been hard for me to wrap my head around, or to really have the discipline for. But this has taught me I got to do it. So I have some grass weeds in there as well that I need to go through and pull. But hopefully, maybe if I give it its space and keep it pampered for another year or two, maybe I will get the full bed of asparagus I'm looking for there. Or I may just have to change locations at some point here and have another alternative bed with where I put some new plants in. But anyway, that's my asparagus journey. I'll see you all later. Why I don't harden off my tomato plants per se. I think my current strategy essentially hardens them off. What I do is I start tomato seedlings under lights in the greenhouse, and then, I start them under lights in the basement, and then I bring them into the greenhouse, and at this point my tomatoes have been in the greenhouse for a good month, and then I and then from there I take them and I put them in the ground when we're ready. I will kind of put them outside, but like I don't put them in, take them out, that kind of hardening off type of activity. I'll maybe take them out of the greenhouse and put them on a table that's outside for a little bit. But usually that's just because the greenhouse is starting to get too hot and it's actually better outside for them before I can get them in the ground. That might be what happens. So I don't do like the normal kind of hardening off procedure of, hey, put them out because you might get sun scald, put them out for a little bit each day, or protect them from the sun when you first put them out for a little bit. I haven't been doing that for the last couple of years, and I haven't noticed any particular problems with that. I think the reason for that is, and I'll back up and say that historically I have had an issue with that. Before I was at this garden, when I used to garden, I used to grow tomato seeds in my garage under lights, and then I would move them outside once we got past the last frost date. And so I'd move them outside, and I did see that they would get sun scald if I went straight from lights to just the garden at the after frost date. And I can see, you know, today I'm sitting here in April and it's super sunny out here. So I could see if I was just moving tomatoes maybe out of my basement nursery at this date with all the sun that we have in outside, I would have this kind of problem where hardening off, a more robust hardening off procedure would be necessary. I think the reason my system works right now is because I'm moving from the basement into the greenhouse, and I'm moving it into the greenhouse at a point in time where it's just kind of getting warm enough that they will continue to grow there. But here in Portland, we often don't have, we've got a lot of cloud cover at the time. So like if I move them into the greenhouse, let's say by mid-March, there's still enough cloud cover. I think that's actually protecting them from the whole sun scald issue. So anyway, I just thought I would share that point because I was just thinking about, I was listening to somebody else talking about hardening off, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really do the whole regular hardening off thing, and I haven't had a problem with it, and I wonder why. I think this is why, is because I'm moving them into the greenhouse early when there's cloud cover, and then they're getting used to the sun as nature actually kind of makes things more sunny over time. That's my guess. I mean, I'm certainly no scientist on this, but I do know that I'm not doing anything special for hardening off and haven't had a problem in the last couple of years. See you guys.